Every year, on a single night in November, church bells across Europe toll for the dead. Candles are lit, names are whispered, doors are left unlocked. And in villages that do not speak to outsiders, people say this is the one night when the dead are not visitors, but travelers. Because All Souls' Night was never meant to comfort the living. It was meant to warn them. All Souls' Night is observed on November 2nd, primarily across Catholic Europe. Its official purpose is simple: a day of prayer for souls believed to be trapped in purgatory, neither saved nor condemned. The tradition was formalized in the 10th century, when monasteries across France began dedicating a day to the dead who had not yet found rest. From there, it spread across Europe: Italy, Spain, Germany, Austria, Poland, and beyond. Churches taught that the living could ease the suffering of the dead through prayer, candles, and remembrance. But long before churches claimed this night, Europe already feared it. Because in pagan belief systems that predate Christianity, early Europeans believed the barrier between worlds weakened as winter approached, and the dead did not always return peacefully. Before it was called All Souls' Night, this time of year marked a threshold. Celtic tribes believed late autumn was when the land itself became unstable, when spirits wandered freely, hungry for warmth, memory, and flesh. Germanic folklore spoke of the Wild Jagd, the wild hunt, ghostly riders sweeping through forests, collecting lost souls. In Slavic regions, villagers left bread, salt, and mead outside their homes to feed wandering ancestors, because starving spirits were dangerous spirits. Some legends speak of bells rung not to honor the dead, but to confuse them, so they could not find their way back inside. Old church records describe unauthorized rituals still being practiced as late as the 1400s. Black candles burned at crossroads, names of the dead carved into wood, mirrors covered to prevent possession, children forbidden from speaking after dusk. And in certain regions of Eastern Europe, families believed that the dead could enter through breath, so windows were opened, not closed. Because if you trapped them inside, they might never leave. In the Carpathian foothills, near the borderlands of Central and Eastern Europe, there is a village locals refused to name on maps. In 1897, the village consisted of fewer than 200 residents, farmers, woodcutters, and a small church built of stone. Every year on All Souls' Night, the village followed strict rules. No one traveled after sunset. No children were allowed outside. Candles were placed in every window. The church doors remained open until dawn. That year, a traveling school teacher named Emil Novak arrived late in the afternoon. Witness accounts describe him as polite, educated, and unaware of local customs. He planned to stay one night. By sunset, the villagers begged him to leave. He laughed. At nightfall, the bells rang, not from the church, but from the forest. Around midnight, dogs began howling in unison. A woman named Katerina Blazek later testified that she heard footsteps walking through her kitchen, stopping at the table where bread had been laid out, but no door opened. At approximately 1:40 a.m., the church candles went out, every single one, simultaneously. That is when the screaming began. Villagers described seeing figures moving between houses, not solid, not transparent, wrong somehow. Children were found standing at windows, whispering names no one recognized. And Emil Novak vanished. At dawn, the villagers sealed their church records and buried something behind the altar. The teacher was never found, but for decades afterward, locals claimed that on All Souls' Night, a man's voice could be heard speaking fluent Czech from beneath the church floor. In 1932, a regional historian uncovered a damaged parish log referencing the November incident of 1897. The entry notes, "One missing outsider, 3 villagers hospitalized with madness, 1 child mute until death." Unexplainable disturbances lasting 7 nights. Local police dismissed it as hysteria, but the historian noted something strange. The entry was written in 2 different handwritings, and the second handwriting appeared beneath the first, as if added later. Modern investigators who visited the region in the early 2000s reported something unsettling. On November 2nd, after midnight, electrical equipment failed. Audio recordings captured low breathing sounds with no visible source. At 12:17 a.m., one investigator reported hearing his name spoken from behind him. No one was there. Then the church bells rang, despite no rope being attached. Lights went out. Footsteps approached, and the recording ended. The team left before dawn. They never returned. So what is All Souls Night really? Shared belief amplifies fear, hallucination, and group behavior, especially in isolated communities. Ancient rites may have been absorbed into Christian practice, but never erased, triggered annually by timing and tradition. Certain dates may correlate with geomagnetic or environmental shifts affecting human perception and consciousness. Some folklorists believe All Souls Night does not summon the dead at all, but awakens something that remembers them. So when candles are lit for the dead, who is really watching from the dark? Was this a night meant to comfort lost souls, or a warning left behind by people who survived something they could not explain? Tell me what version you believe, and which festival should I uncover next? If this story unsettled you, that was intentional. The dead were never meant to be forgotten. They were meant to be respected.